So when you're applying for colleges abroad, the application process is comprehensive and a little bit difficult, and there's really different things you need to consider. But our friend Manan today is going to share some unique, better, different ways to approach having a holistic application process when you're applying to study abroad. Check it out. Hey friends, welcome to Chai Coaching. I'm Rob, and we love helping people be successful in their cross-cultural journeys. In this video, we're talking about the application process and getting really ready for your admissions. And Manan's going to share some different things, especially for this comprehensive process to help you be successful in making the right decisions and choosing the place to study abroad and getting accepted there. Manan, go ahead and introduce yourself, buddy.
Hi, Manan here. I am from Mumbai. I did my undergrad in mechanical engineering and I graduated in 2019. Then I worked for 2 years and now I'm here in pursuing my master's in industrial and systems engineering. I'll be focusing on the sustainability aspect of things. Yeah, I'm happy to share the kind of the application journey that I went through, and I got admits into the US without giving the GRE. So that's something I'll be happy to share.
So Manan, tell us, what should someone think about when selecting their course of study or a particular area or industry? How do they get started in that?
Perfect. So there are two thought processes to it. One is like if you really liked what you did in your undergrad and you want to get into further detail about it. So for example, if you are a mechanical student and you want to study the thermal or the design aspect of it, you just pursue your master's over there. But many of the time what happens is, based on the kind of work that you've done after your undergrad or the different experiences that you've had in your 4 years, you tended to move away from your core branch and you want to explore something more. So that's when you start looking elsewhere. Points of confusion here are that since you do not know much about what is happening outside your domain, you are kind of confused where to go. So you tend to talk to people and you tend to see where everyone else is going. One of the mistakes here is getting into the herd mentality of what is the perfect master's degree that will get you more money or more job opportunities, because my perspective on things was, as long as you like what you are doing and you are and you know that you would be good at it, eventually you will end up somewhere getting a job and paying up the loans or the financial liabilities that you've taken to come to your master's program. One of the main topics would be find your interest and just don't follow the herd, or don't listen to the counselors who would just tell you based on your aptitude only or the kind of opportunity that you have in the future.
Pursue a passion, not a paycheck.
Perfect.
That's what I like to tell people.
Yeah.
So once you've figured out kind of a specific direction you want to go, how can you select in the right kind of universities and what you qualify for, and how can you learn more about those universities?
My approach to things were, you always see what universities are a good fit for you, and how do you do that? You lay down a metric as to what are the important metrics that are good for you personally. So for example, if finances are a constraint, you look at the universities with that give out scholarships or that have a lower tuition fee, and you do not only want to look at the Ivy Leagues or schools that have a very high tuition. Then second thing would be climate, because in India, like I come from Mumbai, which is like a hot tropical climate, and I personally cannot bear the cold. So that's when I remove a lot of the universities right off the bat if I'm coming to the US.
No New York or Chicago, right?
Yeah, perfect. So that's how you do it. You get your metrics sorted, you talk to your parents, you talk to people who know you well, and you get your metrics sorted, and then you decide on a college pool. When I say college pool, I don't necessarily mean that you narrow it down to exactly the colleges that you are applying to, but the pool that you think that, okay, these are the colleges that prima facie would fit your interest. The second thing that you do after that is you start writing to the admission coordinators, and you start attending their webinars. A student has directly reached out to them to get information, and that sort of give you an edge. I'll discuss it with my personal experience over here. Second thing is, when you attend these webinars, you get a first-hand experience of what are the expectations of the university from the students and what are you actually going to study, rather than just listening to any counselor over there who is not even studying what you're going to study or be into that particular university. So giving my example over here on these 2 points. The first one, before I came to A&M, I had written few emails to Kara, who's our graduate advisor, and I had spoken to her what I should expect, whether I'd be a good fit or no. The benefit that I got out of it was my application fee got waived. So the application fee, which is somewhere around $150 or so,
Nice.
I just had to give in like $30 over there. So that was an advantage that I had. The second thing being that UT Austin was one of the other choices that I had for my grad program. But the thing that I realized is that it is a very math heavy program, and I sort of did not want to get into the operations or the math heavy kind of areas, but more towards the business side. So I knew that even though it's like one of the really good schools ranked really high in the US news and ranking system, and that wouldn't be the right fit for me. So that's how I let it go, and I'm here. So that's about selecting your college.
If you want to get admitted into outstanding universities abroad, then you need to check out the Collegiate Mentorship Program. This unique college prep program has everything you need to get into your dream college. You will receive one-on-one mentorship from top university professors, lecturers, and researchers, specifically in your field and industry of interest. You will expand and apply your knowledge on academic subjects in ways not possible within your current school courses. You will also get access to over 125 professors and researchers from top universities in the US and UK, like Harvard, MIT, Columbia, Cambridge, Oxford, Duke University, UC Berkeley, and many more. Connect with the Collegiate Mentorship Program to get the learning, research, and internship opportunities needed to earn admissions into the world's elite universities. So one unique tip that Manan's got is regarding the LOR, SOP, and resume, and how you should think about these and how they work together in your application process. Tell us about that.
Perfect. So now that you've decided on the field that you actually want to pursue, you've got to your college pool, and then you've used the different metrics and even narrowed it down. When we talk about the application and what you'll put in for different colleges, since you've already attended the webinar, you exactly know what to focus on for every particular college, and you can tailor all of your documents to suit that college. Another tip being, what happens is when many of the universities have constraints on the size of the SOP. So there would be a lot of things that you want to talk about in the SOP, but not all of them can fit into it. So what do you do over there? You try to remove things out of there and distribute them in your LOR or in your resume. So when you are approaching your professor, you tell them that, okay, this is something that you have done, and would they be comfortable sharing that in the recommendation letter that they are writing to you. Similarly, if you think that you already mentioned something significant into your resume, right, you need not repeat that in your SOP to the same level of detail. That is one thing. Just another point that I'd like to add here. This is a trap that most of the students fall into, I suppose. I guess a lot of the mechanical engineering students are part of either the BAHA or the Formula student team, and they've really done well as well over there. But in their SOP, what they tend to do is they tend to write more about the success of the team rather than how their contribution led to that success. If you are reading that, it comes out as well, okay, the team that you were in was really good, but how do you fit in, or where do you fit in over there? So they are not giving admission to the entire team, they're giving admission to you. So that's how you present yourself there in the SOP.
Tell about your own story and your own journey.
Yeah, if I were to share my own experience, the unique thing that I had in my profile was something, so I had my own business before I came for my grad program, that is during COVID. So I spoke about that and how the previous experience of undergrad and the kind of study abroad program that I had done helped me benefit into the kind of startup that I had built for myself. So I did not talk more about where I worked, but the kind of work that I did, because you do not want to leech out of the reputation of the organization that you're working for, but need to stand out as to how the organization benefited from you.
You guys, if you're learning a lot, give a big like and thumbs up to say thanks to Manan for sharing. And our chai question for you guys in this video is, which colleges are you applying to right now? Go ahead and tell us in the comments which universities you guys are applying to and considering your shortlisting. Would love to see that. And our next question is how to connect with people, students and alumni, to learn and make those decisions. So what did that look like for you to finalize that decision process? So
for me personally, just to give some background, I never thought of applying to the US. I was always going to go to Germany for my education. But the plus point for me was during COVID, many of the US universities waived off their GRE. And that's how I thought of applying here. Just to get information, what I did was I went on to LinkedIn and I started connecting to people who are studying in the universities that I had already narrowed down. There are different things that you could do. it is really important to the kind of people you're connecting to and the kind of questions you're asking them. For example, this is something that I personally get. Since I am only a new student, I get a lot of prospective applicants writing to me on LinkedIn and asking me about the kind of job opportunities. The thing is, I cannot say that in first hand because I myself haven't been through that process. I'm still going through that process, so I cannot give you that information. But who could better give you that information is someone who's already graduated from this university and already working.
The alumni.
That's the alumni, right? So those are the kind of questions you want to direct to the alumni. The kind of questions you want to direct to someone who's actually studying is the kind of professors, the kind of options you have, the kind of flexibility to the program. That is what an alumni cannot give you because they've already graduated and they do not know what is actually happening right now. So that's sort of a distinction that is really good to make whenever you are approaching people. And based on the kind of inputs that you get from the both, you can incorporate them into your application documents, your SOP or your LOR. Just a funny note here. So I also applied to NCSU, North Carolina, and I got an admit from there. So one of the unique things that my friend mentioned to me was that the buildings over there are all red because they're made from red bricks and red cement of those time, and that is very particular to Raleigh. So that is something that I plugged into my SOP, and that's something that one would know only if you've done detailed research. So this shows off that how you are a detailed person and you actually want to
customize it.
You can customize it on your own.
And unfortunately, sometimes when you apply to university, you get rejected. So what advice would you have to people when they get an admit reject, and what should they do?
Perfect. So this is something that even I struggled with in the beginning, because in my journey, my first two results were a reject. So I kind of went low over there. But as in when you talk to people and you finally come here, you realize that when you get rejected, it's not someone judging you personally, as in you are bad or you are not capable of pursuing that particular program. It's just that at that particular point of time, you are not a right fit based on the kind of the application pool that was there. And it's very important to know that you do not get demotivated or start judging your capabilities. Because as you've also mentioned in a lot of your videos, being successful in the US or the kind of, if you want to get into the industry, is more about the kind of upskilling that you do yourself and the networking that you do rather than the name or the brand of the college that you are in. So
exactly. Rejections are part of the game, but if you can persevere, you're sure going to land in a great place.
Perfect.
And lots of opportunities. So Manan, thanks so much. I learned a lot. I know this is going to help people think differently and be better in their application process. I really appreciate you.
Yeah, great. Thanks so much for having me here.
Also, don't forget to connect with the Collegiate Mentorship Program to get the tools and mentorship for studying abroad at your dream university. We'll have links in the video description and comments.
Be sure to connect with us online on social media with our Chine Coaching newsletter. And thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you guys next time at Chine Coaching. Cheers.
Bye-bye.